Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. And look, I know we've done a lot of videos lately, but there's so much news and so many new cards coming out. And what do you want me to do? Not bring you the news or new cards? That doesn't sound like me, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't sound like me. What does sound like the lovely Immunity over on Twitter, however, is showing us cool new stuff, and the lovely Immunity over on Twitter had shown us a bunch of cool new stuff. He's shown us all of the products for Unified Minds, and there's quite a lot to get through, so let's get rolling. The most exciting thing for me, straight off the bat, we know what our theme decks are going to be. And our theme decks are going to be featuring Necrozma, and they are going to be featuring Dragonite. Now, I have a clear favourite between the two of these, and it's not Necrozma. Now, Necrozma is fine. 2 colourless energy, 30 damage during your opponent's next turn, reduce damage done to this Pokemon by 30. I mean, it's alright, but bearing in mind we're not going to have double colourless energy when this comes out, so that's a bit rubbish. We're still going to have Malamar, but even so. And then 2 Psychic, 1 colourless, 160 damage if you've got special energy attached to it. Otherwise, it only does 100. In a Malamar deck where you're playing Ultra Necrozma, you can play the unit energy, the one that's got both Metal and Psychic. And I kind of like this. I like it as a non-GX attacker in Malamar Ultra Necrozma decks. That's about it. But within that one niche, I think it's kind of cool. What I like way more is the Dragonite. I am on a bit of a Dragonite high at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. I think that when Unified Minds comes along, me and Dragonite are going to have a little bit of a love fest going on. I love the new Dragonite. And yes, I mean that as a plural. Now, the GX, which is going to be coming in the set as well, the GX does 270 damage for 5 energy. But bearing in mind you got triple acceleration energy, which, well, it makes it an awful lot easier to get it rolling, put it that way. It really is good. But then we've got this other Dragonite. And this other Dragonite, ladies and gentlemen, it's really cool. The ability says that once during your turn, you may attach a water and a lightning energy from your hand to your Pokemon in any way you like. Now, it can also do 170 for 4 energy, although you must discard 3 of them. But that's great against non-GXs. And now if you put the 2 of them together, the GX KOs tag team GXs and GXs, the non-GX KOs non-GXs, you've got triple acceleration energy, and you've got the ability of this Dragonite, which gets energy on. I love it. I am definitely going to be playing around with a Dragonite deck when the rotation hits. Incidentally, we do actually have another Dragonite GX from Dragon Majesty, which will survive the rotation, and another Dragonite from Team Up, which will survive the rotation. And the one from Team Up lets you search for a supporter every turn, so that's pretty sweet. Not to mention we got stuff like Lance Prism Star, which lets you search for 2 Dragon Pokemon and put them straight on your bench after your opponent gets a KO. And yes, that includes Stage 2, and I think Dragonite's got a huge amount of potential. Incidentally, all the cards I'm talking about here that haven't been released yet, I've done videos about all of them. I'll link them all in the description. I think these are a really good pair of theme decks. I like the Dragonite one a whole heap more than I like the Necrozma one. Plus, look how beautiful the artwork is on Dragonite. But make no mistake about it, these should be a nice little pair of theme decks. And obviously, when the list for the theme decks are revealed, I'll share them with you on this channel, as I do every time. But bear in mind, we're on a run of really, really good theme decks lately. I don't see any reason to believe that this would be any different. But as well as the theme decks, we also know we're going to be getting a bunch of promos. And this doesn't usually happen. But we actually know both the 3 blister promos and the 1 blister promos all at once. Usually we're searching for 1 or 2, not today. Thank you, Immunity. You rock, sir. So if we go to the 3 blister promos, we've got a couple of alternate arts from cards which are going to be, well, weirdly not in Unified Minds, because they were in Unbroken Bonds. We're getting an alternate art Vikavolt and an alternate art Stack Attacker. Now, the Vikavolt here, I absolutely love. It is one of my favourite cards from Unbroken Bonds. It is one that I am desperately trying to make a good deck with. The Vikavolt has no weakness if there's a stadium in play. That's any stadium in play, regardless of who played it. And then for 4 energy, you do 120, but you may discard all the lightning energy from this Pokemon and do 220. But what really makes this amazing is Charger Bug. Charger Bug can be attached from your hand as a double lightning energy. And you can search it out with stuff like Ultra Ball, because it's a Pokemon. And you can recover it with stuff like Rescue Stretcher, because it's a Pokemon. And it doesn't count as your energy attachment for the turn, because it's a Pokemon. I adore this Vikavolt. I've not yet been able to find a list which I truly love, but it's a card in which I am extremely interested, and one I'm going to be playing around with quite a lot. As for Stack Attacker, I mean, look, I like Stack Attacker, and I played in a little format at Birmingham Regionals. We played in a format where you get 1 pack, and you make a 10-card deck with that pack and any basic energy you like, and you play a 1-prize game. Well, Stack Attacker's ability gives it 200 HP if there's 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, and for 3 energy it does 110 damage. In that format, it was a beast! And I pulled one of these and destroyed my opponent and felt a bit mean about it. I love Stack Attacker, but only because I have a fun memory of it from a regional. I don't actually think it's a good card, and I don't expect it to really see any play. We knew these cards were coming at some point because they were booster box promos in Japan. When you bought a booster box of a particular set, you got either this Vikavolt or this Stack Attacker. So we knew we were going to get them. It just came down to when. This is now. I think the Vikavolt is significantly better than the Stack Attacker, but I still love that we're getting them both. It's still kind of cool that they're both coming. As for the 1-pack promos, I mean, they're nowhere near as good, but again, we are looking at Japanese promos. So we are getting a Pikachu, and this particular Pikachu has 60 HP, and it has an attack for, I'm going to be honest with you, right, it's kind of expensive. 1 lightning, 2 colorless energy, I know, right, and 40 damage, flip a coin if heads, paralysis. I don't think I can recommend this Pikachu in any way, shape or form because we just have objectively better Pikachu cards. We just do. We've got the promo which has 70 HP, and we got the one from Unbroken Bonds which had 70 HP, and they've both got cheaper attacks. Not to mention we've got the one with Nuzzle, which you may want to use for stuff like Raichu GX or the Emolga, which searches out Nuzzle Pokemon. And frankly, ladies and gentlemen, there's just no real reason why we would ever want to play this Pikachu. Sorry, it's not good. As for the Sudowoodo, this was a Korokoro promo over in Japan, and it's not terribly inspiring. 1 fighting energy, 20 damage. 2 fighting energy, 80 damage. If you don't have a stadium card in play, this attack does nothing. You're still not getting a 1-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom. And it's if you have no stadium in play, not if there isn't a stadium in play. Which means that if your opponent puts a stadium in play, then you don't even get the benefit of this. So it's just... it's basically my conclusion here. It's not particularly good. Sorry about that. And the last piece of news we do have a little bit of a peek at the booster packs. Now, we have a really clear image of the Darkrai and Umbreon booster pack, which incidentally, by far my favourite. And then if we look at the booster box, we can see the Giratina and Garchomp booster and the Mewtwo and Mew booster. Although, to be fair, if we look at the Japanese Miracle Twin booster, it's basically the same, so here's a better look at the artwork. As for the 4th booster, I've actually shown it to you already. It is Deoxys and Espeon, and you can see it on the 1-pack blisters. Yes, I'm sorry, as it stands at the moment, this is the best image we've got. I'm sorry, there's not a huge amount I can do about it, except promise that when we have more, I will share more. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. New theme decks, 3-pack blister promos, 1-pack blister promos, and booster packs. Huge shout out once again to the lovely Immunity over on Twitter, who hooked us up with all of the images. That dude rocks. And yeah, good times. I'm a little bit excited. I mean, personally, I'm actually really excited because, well, Vikavolt Blister and Dragonite theme deck, they're two of the decks I'm most excited about at the moment. So for me personally, this is wonderful news. But I'd like to know what you think about it. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.